Have you seen anything weird in the woods that you can't explain?
Michael was asked the question, do you actually believe in Bigfoot? And over a beer, that's what we're going to discuss in this video. But if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Flick the sub bean now. Back when monsters were real, no one questioned. But today we ask, what if you did come face to face with something that wasn't supposed to exist? So does Bigfoot exist? Do you need a rocket launcher for a dragon that doesn't?
All right. Welcome to Having a Beer with Mike. I got an arrogant bastard. And this is a delightful beauty. I've had this for 7.2% ABV. So, stealth crack. Did you hear that? Oh, it's so quiet. That's the stealth crack right there. That's cracking a beer the Stealth Camp way. Stealth Camp Alliance Stealth Crack method.
Oh boy, that's funny. Michael, I gotta tell you, I never thought that we'd end up talking about Bigfoot in this, so.
Well, you know, I am pretty random.
It's okay, I love it, because I love the parent. I could talk about that all day.
I've been digging into the subject of Sasquatch, Bigfoot. There are many names I've come to find. Some of the things that I found out, you know, History Channel and places like that, I don't think they're really doing you any justice by telling you what they're telling you.
Apparently, and this is completely off the path of where we're starting, but we're talking about Bigfoot now. Right around where I'm at, Sailorville Lake, my buddy Seth, who is one of the members of Calhoun County, said that they're apparently back in the 70s there was like a Bigfoot organization in Des Moines like that investigated it that we're trying to find out more about.
A lot of those programs are like basically making it out like, you know, like it's going out looking for birds, right? Some of the stories I've heard.
There's a chief of police in my hometown, Polk City, which is right on Sailorville Lake. They had like Bigfoot sightings and stuff out there, and there was even a story at one point of someone getting their arm ripped off.
Out of the like myriad of podcasts that I've listened to of those individuals, honestly, I've heard some pretty disturbing stuff.
You know, I come from New Hampshire, and I've been in the upper mountains of the White Mountains, and I've been in the Rocky Mountains. I have more or less pretty much always gone by myself everywhere I've gone.
So I'd like to do a thought experiment with you. I want you to think about this for a second. I want you to imagine yourself back in the day and age when no one had ever seen a tiger. Because we all know what a tiger is, right? Most people have just heard stories of this mythical orange and black creature that maybe one or two people managed to get away, and their story was basically that this monster exploded out of the brush and ate their friend, or ate their mom, or ate their dad, or whatever. And they ran for their life and managed to get away, etc., etc. Oversimplified story, right? But that's in essence kind of what we're talking about here, right? Now, I am sure that in those times that there were people who, you know, made fun of these individuals and said, hey, you're crazy. There's no such thing as monsters. And yeah, probably back in those days, it was probably, the whole monster issue was probably a lot more readily acceptable thing.
On my first video I ever recorded was Goodman, Wisconsin, and that was their claim to fame, is that someone had sighted a Bigfoot. So that was why I went there. But
I've never seen footprints. I've never heard anything that, well, I mean, I've heard things that I couldn't put a name to, couldn't put a, you know, that's a fox, that's an elk,
Have you seen anything weird in the woods that you can't explain?
You know, I come from New Hampshire, and I've been in the White Mountains, and I've been in the Rocky Mountains. I have more or less pretty much always gone by myself everywhere I've gone. Have I heard things that I couldn't explain? Yes and no. I've heard things that I couldn't explain, but my mind says, okay, that is where it doesn't go. It doesn't go to unexplained. My mind goes to I have to assign a rational thing to it, and because it wasn't one of those it's in your face, like you know what I mean. Like I've heard some of the recordings, and I'm like, dude, I would just absolutely like die to hear something like that. You know, it's always something that is just, you know, I heard something moving. Okay, well, that's probably just a raccoon or it's probably a deer. Or...
So, I have heard some things that I couldn't put a name to, but I didn't go straight to monster. It wasn't where I went. Have I ever been approached by anything in the woods that I wasn't able to understand? Nope, never ever.
If you ever get a chance, northeast Iowa actually has fairly thick forest, plus it's remote, plus there's Bigfoot activity up there apparently. So
after hearing some of the stories that I've heard, and in that they were just stories, right? In that they were just people recounting what happened to them. I'm not going to call somebody a liar. You say that is what happened to you, then I'm going to take you at face value. That's what happened to you. I don't know you. If I don't know you from Adam, and you tell me that this happened, this is what happened, and this is what I saw, then I'm going to take you at face value. I'm going to be skeptical about it, and I hope you understand that is the best course of action. This is what I think. I think that if a rocket launcher is going to protect you from a dragon that doesn't exist, and you never see a dragon that doesn't exist, you're all well and fine. If you go into the woods looking for a dragon under the guise and the pretense that it's foolishness, it's monkey business, they don't exist, they don't need a rocket launcher, well then, aren't you the you were poo-pooing and ha-ha and the people who said that they existed when they told you that they existed. You didn't know them. You didn't have any reason to not believe that what they were telling you wasn't true. They obviously saw something. You see what I'm saying? I think that to make the crazy choice that they exist and that they're dangerous is a much better crazy choice than making the crazy choice that they don't exist. And that if we think about what it is I'm talking about a wild animal. I'm talking about a wild animal that lives in the forest that nobody has ever seen, come into contact with. I don't find that as a very unreasonable proposition to be making. I really don't. I find that to be, okay, that's kind of plausible. There's lots of creatures in the woods that I go into the woods on a regular basis. I know they live there. I've never seen them. There's lots of animals that I know live there that I've never seen. So, is it possible that there's a Bigfoot there that I've just never seen him? Yeah, that's entirely possible. I find it to be a very reasonable assessment of the situation. Since I know creatures that we've accepted as actual living creatures live there, I've never seen them. But it doesn't mean that when I go into the woods, I think that they want to dance around a fire and with, daisies and eat lemon cakes with me. There are a certain number of creatures that have been accepted by science and general society that I know have the capability to kill me and eat me. And a lot of the other creatures that don't have the capability to kill and eat me are waiting for their piece of the pie once I am killed. So, I'm not trying to be sensational. You know what? If nothing is out there that will rip my arm off, then that's cool. but I don't know that to be the truth. So, and I'm looking at maps that tell me that, okay, you stayed here, boink, and then here, 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 and here. People say they ran into one of these things that other people say their name for it is cannibal. That other people say that when I looked at it, I thought it wanted to kill me.
See, the question I always ask is, okay, what happens if Bigfoot does roll up on you? Like, you're sitting there at camp, you got your fire going, you got your tent hidden real well, you're making your food in the metal pan. Bigfoot rolls up. What's happening?
I'm gonna be like, okay, bro, do you want your beer in the glass, or do you want it like? Should I get like one of those solo cups? Because your like big old hands are gonna break the glass. I don't want you getting pissed at me and like taking it out on me if you cut your finger. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that because I've heard so many stories of people that were out camping and things that had happened to them, and you know, I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what the answer is. But, I mean, you know, I think that's kind of the point. It's kind of the point, right? So. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, hopefully, it'll be just something interesting to watch. You know what I mean? So. I don't know what else to do. There's a whole ongoing process. I know what I don't like, my beer getting warm. My beer is getting warm.